again, when it comes to pursuing your personal passion, if you have individuals who are in the same space who are going hard and pushing you, great, phenomenal, right? But it's when you have other people who aren't in that same space that you're competing and contrasting with, right?
Yes,
Or
yes.
that are influencing you. That's when you got to take a little step back. Like, I don't really know about that, right? Because to James' point, it's your race, right? You can't analyze other people's race. You can't look to the left. You can't look to the right. You need to have your hands 10 and 2 and locked into what you have going on. But also be cautious of other individuals who are running the same race. You can learn from them. But people who are not in your race or in your lane do not need to be telling you what the hell going on with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And you don't need to take that advice at the end of the day.
I never grew up with educators that look like myself. So I
100.
feel like honestly, like we are that new wave that make being wise, being smart, being educated cool, right?
Absolutely.
Wisdom is a powerful tool, but oftentimes we might neglect it because of who it's coming from. You feel me? But if we can chop it up with a young buck and really implant a seed, man, like that's it's more than just education at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm gonna do this every episode now because we got the sound effects, man. But man, welcome to another edition of the Let's Grow Together podcast, where diverse individuals and communities come to serve, connect, and grow in areas that they're most passionate about. Brother Marcus, we back again, man. Check in with our people,
Yes,
let them know how you
sir.
doing.
So what's up, family? All is well. Happy to be back. As always, got something dope planned for y'all. Great conversation. As far as the week, a little debrief. Avery started elementary school this weekend, man. I almost shed a tear for my baby girl growing up so quick,
Man, shout out to
riding the
Avery.
bus. Yeah, man, and she's excited for it. She's fearless. She was telling me about. I asked, was she nervous? Introducing herself, connecting with people. She's like, no. When they asked me my name, I stood up and said, "Hey, I'm Avery." Said that, So just the jubilance associated with it is so beautiful, man. I'm soaking it up, and it's really kind of feeding my energy, to be honest. Outside of that, we just had the book bag drive for back to school with Roots. It was phenomenal, man. Partnering with a local barbershop. Um, Partner with the local mountaineer who provides the chicken. We had over 120 pounds of chicken, bro.
Sheesh.
And I tell you, we fed everybody, and sent some plates home with them. So man, dope again. Shout out to the squad. Thank you for the Roots mentoring team, man. We made it shake, and looking forward to start off the school year, man. But James, how are you? How are you and the guys? What's going on with y'all?
Man, we moving and shaking, man. Really getting things in order for this next school year. As you always know, man, we have several programs running throughout the school year, and this time around, we looking to incorporate an after school program with one of the schools too. So it's like the third time we've done that, so we just got to get a little bit creative with it. Life is good, man. Me and baby girl, man, we planning a trip to Denver, man. I'm excited for that.
Let's go.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because I've never been to Denver, but it gives you the perfect blend of like country and then town at the same time. And
Never heard that, but that's real.
yeah, yeah. Have you ever been there?
Nah, I haven't. I haven't.
Yeah, man. It's crazy because like we're going in October, so it's gonna be not necessarily winter yet, but it's gonna be parts of the city that's kind of cold, right? And then other parts that are
Hmm.
in the fall weather. So we're just doing our due diligence, trying to figure out if we need to bring a coat, what we need to do. But I'm excited to experience that beautiful city because man, I've seen pictures, I've seen videos, I've seen people posted where they be at in Denver, and I'm like, yeah, it's a vibe. So I'm excited for that.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be awesome, man. That traveling, checking things off the bucket list is what it's all about. Wife and I actually plan on getting married here coming up in a few weeks as well.
Let's
Time to
go.
not. We've been mentally tied to not, but Uncle Sam need the paperwork, so
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we gonna get him right. But definitely, man, excited for it. This new phase, this new chapter, and that trip ought to be dope. I definitely look forward to hearing more about it. But as we transition into the topic of the day, the topic of conversation is gonna be around pursuing your personal passion. Right, that is a very broad topic, so we'll kind of dissect that and cut it up in a few ways. But James, when you hear the pursuing your personal passion, right, what comes top of mind for you?
A lot of stuff to be honest, but I'm currently reading or rereading The Alchemist, right? And literally on the back of it, it says to realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation. And for
Mm,
yeah, yeah, just reading that little tidbit, it's like, all right, let me tap in and see what it's about. Um, but when you read the book, for those who don't know, it's about a shepherd who decides to go travel to pretty much find his I forget what they refer to it in the book, but basically to find his purpose, his destiny. And what he's gonna realize is that after he travels all around the world, where he started is exactly where he was supposed to be. But
Mm,
for me, I truly believe that we've all been blessed with a unique gift that we should share with the world. And I think that what holds us back sometimes is, we have this belief, we have this thought, we have this passion, but then we go out into the world and the world may not agree with it. And so we shy away from
mm,
it. We get scared of it. Our parents may want us to go and do one thing, but we want to do something different. But for me, I feel like whatever it is that you're supposed to do, it's truly up to you to one, find that thing. And again, feel okay with not figuring it out at first, right? Because sometimes you got to try a lot of stuff, but once you do and you figure it out, you got to wake up every day and work on that thing.
mm, mm. Nah, I feel that. That definitely resonates with me. When I think about it, I think more so from my grandfather's perspective, and y'all know that that's my idol. I always edify him, but he always told me if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, right? And very
Facts.
cliche staying, but the older I get, the more it really dawns on me. Like, do I love the work in which I'm currently doing? I feel a lot of people often are conflicting when it comes to working in a specific sector or a specific division that they make the revenue, you know what I'm saying? The lifestyle is where they desire to be, but it's not fulfilling,
Yeah.
right? And other times they negate or they just kind of side job their baby, the thing that they really enjoy as well. And I find myself in that position honestly right now and for a long point in time. But when I reflect on my grandfather, his thing was youth. It was the education. It was the kids. And I didn't see his labor at that moment, but I saw the fruits of his labor
Yeah.
and the fact of everybody else edifying him, everybody else talking about how much of an impact in which he made. And he loved that. And he was so present within that that he was unbothered and everything else was kind of extra for him. And I really am appreciative of that perspective to even see that within him, and he kind of coached me up on it. It didn't hit me until now about how impactful it was, but I felt most individuals aren't doing what their personal passion is, right? To your point, society kind of shapes and dictates some things. There's things that we feel we may need, feel align with us, and oftentimes they may be out of reach. So you find yourself readjusting your path in the course that you're currently on to check off some boxes, but not more so those internal boxes.
Yeah, that's real. And man, shout out to grandfathers and grandparents all around the world because my grandfather was similar, bro. Like his personal passion or journey was to take care of his family. And for like many people will look at him and be like, I don't get it. Like, why are you taking care of other people's kids and other people's kids? Like, but that's what he felt it was his job and responsibility to do. But you said something that was really key about some people will get a job, make the money, but then try to like do their baby on the side. And I am pro using your job to fund your passion, but sometimes as people, we will allow a salary to pay us to forget our dreams. We will, yeah,
Mm,
like we will
mm,
go to
mm,
work
mm, mm,
every day, get that dollar, but never pursue our dreams. And I think it
mm.
starts when we're children, right? Before we hopped on, Avery was in the back doing that thing, playing with the toy. But at that time, like whatever it is she's doing, she's jubilant in it. She's enjoying it. She's passionate. It doesn't have a care in the world that dad is telling her to go in the living room, right? But but I believe that when we're kids, that is when we are really doing what we love to do, right? And
Mhm.
then our parents, society, our friends, they start to influence us. And it's really some theological like stuff that's going on in terms of your subconscious and your conscious mind, right? As a kid, you have all subconscious mind. It's literally like whatever you hear, you repeat.
Mm.
Whatever you see, you repeat. You literally have no conscious awareness, right? But as you get older, you start seeing people doing the other thing. You see what people wearing, you see what people doing, and you want to fit in. Because that's really what it's all about. A lot of times we don't
Mhm.
want to stick out like a sore thumb. We don't want to do what other people not doing. We don't want to get judged. So that is why we will silence our own dreams and truth so that we can do what everybody else is doing.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think it's two different components to come with that though. One is gaining, and two is maintaining. Right. So as I dive into that, there's a phase where you feel success looks like gaining something, right? That's an asset. That may be a
Yeah,
house, that may be a car, that may be a business, that may be something of that nature. But then the next phase is maintaining, right? So when you have to dive in and invest that consistent form of energy, either that's really the make or break, but that's where the personal passion comes in. Because
yeah,
there's certain things that you will do free because you generally love doing it. So if that aligns with, you know what I'm saying, the maintaining, that's easy for you to maintain. That's
yeah,
something you desire to. But now is when you step out in another realm and you're doing something that brings in the income, it brings in the asset, it helps you gain, but not necessarily maintain.
yeah.
And that's when that internal battle and conflict starts to occur.
Man, to be real, like I'm gonna be honest. Like in my youth, when I really started, when I was in college and starting to go into the corporate world, I did think success was about obtaining, to get
Oh
as
yeah.
to
Oh
accumulate as
yeah.
much as I can. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's money, whether it's benefits, whatever it is, like experiences, I'm trying to get all of that. I thought that is what made you rich. I was tapped into, I believe it was Nipsey Hussle. He was like, he learned that richness is like giving your all, like really, like not obtaining stuff, but how much you can give. Because when we leave this earth, you can't take it with us. So how many people are you
Mhm.
pouring into? Because that's what makes you truly rich. When you die, what is the conversations that are had around your name? Right? When you're not in the room, what are the conversations being had surrounding your name? And in terms of success, now I believe it's Napoleon Hill, maybe it's Bob Proctor, but they said success is the constant pursuit of a worthy ideal. And
Mhm.
all that really means is pursuing the thing that you want to pursue. And that is what makes success. Because think about it, bro. Like, if we wake up and we have the mentality like, man, I want to impact some kid's life today. If we go out and impact one person's life, one person, we are successful for that day. But a lot of people won't look at it like that, right? They be like, man, I don't have X in my bank account. I don't have X relationship. I haven't met X person. And it's like they look at their life as a failure. But in reality, every day that you do the thing that you love and want to do, you are a
Mhm.
success.
See, but that's why it's extremely valuable to write down, those affirmations, those goals or objective. Because over the years, evolution comes into play. It's gonna evolve, right? In college, I had the Lex, I had the Beamer. I thought I was that guy. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
But now I got the family, I got the crib. I'm about to have the wife. I'm my morals and my ethics and my values have altered and changed. So again, pursuing the personal passion throughout that may evolve over time, right? The you in elementary, middle school, high school is not the you knocking on 30. There's different phases that come in play, and there's different things that now have added additional value. As I talked about, kind of reflecting on my grandfather's words. My grandfather words me so much to me at this stage of my life, but I negated a lot of
yeah.
things I heard
Do you,
then.
do you feel yourself like kind of turning into your granddad in some respects?
Bro, my pops, my granddad, my uncles. I was on the phone with my partners earlier during our mastermind chat. And he was like, "Bro, you your pop's son." I can't help just but laugh. But like,
Yeah,
yeah, but those are the things that have been ingrained within us. And now that we're on the opposite side, right, getting closer to where they were when they were giving it to us, it resonates that much more,
yeah.
right? About that maintaining. They were in the phase of maintaining some things they were working towards. And as we built to get to that point, it's just the transition of power now.
Bro, it's that's so real because I remember giving a eulogy at my grandfather's funeral, and
Mm,
one of the things that I said was like, I remember him trying to give me so much wisdom, and he would say something and it go right over my head. Like I didn't it didn't
mm.
connect, and I was like, I hadn't lived enough life yet. And once I started
Mm,
living a little bit of life, those
mm,
old sayings that he used to say
yeah.
started resonating. It started making sense. And again, he was just living his passion, his purpose. And again, he from down south, from Mississippi. Man, didn't have a lot at all, man. Like literally, not he literally dropped out of school in third grade to go work to take care of his family. And again, like when you hear somebody like, why would you leave third grade? Like, don't you need an education? When I tell you this man is the smartest man that I know. We talk about our grandfathers all the time, but no matter what decision it was that I was making in my life, he was always that supporting, like, man, whatever it is, I got you. And I feel like going back to my original point is sometimes we get out in the world and the world is telling us don't do it because it don't fit the mold of what everybody else is doing. I feel like as people like pursuing your personal passion, all you really need is one person to believe in you. Well, two, because you need to believe in yourself. As you can see, believe you can, you halfway there. But you also need somebody else that speaks life into you. Because if they don't, it's gonna make that much harder for you to achieve it.
Mm. I would ask you, right? Is there a specific job or what was that? phase? What was that, specific event that occurred to let you know that spark? Like, I'm within my passion. I'm doing what I need to be doing.
Man, it's crazy because I mentioned this a little bit earlier that your passion will change, but your gift will always be the same. I feel like, and for me, I always had this voice. I was always having conversations with people. I was always in the mix, right? And I knew that whatever it was that I would be doing would involve me either speaking or just being a part of a collective, right? And I've always said, like, man, I really want to work with youth because I know that if I was able to go through the things I went through and make it to where I am and be, aspiring to do the things that I'm aspiring to do, I can help educate our youth because I walk their walk, I talk their talk, I've been there, right? And I remember the first time that I was like, all right, I now have an opportunity to really pursue my passion. I was working at one of the largest custodian banks in the world here in the South Loop of Chicago, and I was a investment manager liaison. So to explain it simply, I was the person that assisted investment managers and brokers trading assets around the world. And I said earlier, people will pay you to forget your dreams. I was getting paid good money. I'm talking about buku bucks. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't fulfilled. So I met a coworker. I was like, yo, bro, I got this dream. Y'all see the Power by Belief shirt. This is my personal brand. It's a lifestyle brand too. And I was telling the guy about it. I was like, man, I just need to get into the schools. I need to mentor some youth. So I just started trying to figure it out. So as I'm working there, I'm also trying to work with 100 Black Men, which was a mentorship organization in Chicago. I'm trying to partner with other nonprofits to see what I can do. And I'm like, you know what, forget it. I'm going to just start my own nonprofit because I want to get it out the mud and do it my way, right? So start having conversations with some of my counterparts, like, how does this look? How does this work? Pandemic happens, bro. And I'm like, dang, I'm working from home now. I feel like I have no time to work on the Power by Belief side of things. So I'm just like, all right, you know what? I'm going to put that on the back burner real quick because work is kicking my ass. Like, I'm working from home. Literally, my day used to be 7:30 to 4. I leave the office, and then the work leaves with me. Now I'm working from home. I'm still working from 7:30. Sometimes I don't get off until 6 because it's so much stuff going on. Like back in the day, we could get something signed, we can fax it. Now everything electronic. People scared of the virus, so they not trying to have too much like physical contact. So we working later hours. So man, by the time I get off, I'm going to sleep. Fast forward a little bit, February of 2022. Man, they laid me off because of like budget cuts, the pandemic, whatever. They let me go, and bro, it was so crazy because I wasn't apprehensive. I wasn't upset. I was like, bro, here is my opportunity to do the thing that I said that I wanted to do. Because now I got time, right? At the time, they had the little unemployment play where you could get paid still. So I was like, all right, let me tap into that. But my whole thought process was, let me try and use my voice now. So I started my original podcast. It was just recording stuff in my room. The quality was trash. Just started posting content, was getting all type of likes, getting, man, the comedian DL Hughley. I don't know if you know who that is, but
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
he reposted some of my content. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Come
I'm like, man, I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? I'm lit. Then man, I got in contact with my brothers at A Greater Good Foundation. I'm like, man, I'm looking to start an organization to help youth. They like, well, this is what you need to do, 501c3, this, that, and the third. This is how you do it. And I'm like, how do you find people to work with you, right? Man, you need to find people that you can grow with, that you can learn with, that you are really willing to serve with. So of course I got my high school homies. Oh man, let's rock out. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't work out because they didn't have the same capacity to serve that I had. They didn't want to put the work in up front to see no dollars. But lo and behold, man, I ended up having a conversation. The AGGF guys was like, man, just come mentor with us. And I had to make a decision. What was more important to me? My name being on everything or impact? And my purpose is to serve, so I'm his impact. So of course, put the Power by Belief on the back burner a little bit again, but got into a situation where I was able to directly impact youth, and I've been doing it, for 3 years now with the guys, man, and it's been amazing. So it turned out from an adversity of getting laid off from a job and using that as passion and power and purpose to enable me to do what I want to do, which was work with our youth and inspire our youth.
Hmm. Beautiful story. You see how that just went all
Yeah,
over the place, but
yeah,
it
yeah.
landed right where it needed to. Um, it was something I saw on social media recently,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like an anime version of an individual who was very thirsty. He was actually running through this obstacle course to try to get to a well. Right on the other side of the mountain, it was a waterfall though, and basically, guy was trying to block him. He was trying to stop him, like, "Hey, go this way. Let me divert you." And sometimes we get in our own way. We be so hard headed, we don't take heed, and he got to the well and he pumped it and it was like a drop of water, right?
Yeah,
And he thought he relieved his thirst, but if he would have kept traveling, if he would have kept enduring, if he would have listened to, the most high trying to guide him on this the proper path, he would have got the desired result. But man, I love to hear those stories. It actually reminds me of a few books that I've read. I know you talked about The Alchemist, but this is Who Moved My Cheese. Are you familiar with that?
nah, that I'm not familiar with that one.
But one of the funniest books I've ever read, but most informative. Essentially, there is he does he's really big on perspective. The individuals, there's humans and there's rats in a maze. Essentially, they're working to get the cheese. The cheese is the goal. The cheese is your dream promotion. The cheese is whatever you're chasing, whatever you're pursuing, your happiness component, right? Your passion. And essentially, that the long story short is the humans are lazy. We complain too much, right? We are used to consistent repetition. So when the cheese was at a specific point that was close to the base,
Mm-hmm.
individuals got lazy. They stopped coming out at a certain time. And by the time that the cheese had moved and transitioned, the humans were upset. They sat there and they complained. The rats were more so on the move. They were more so consistent, straight up out the gate at the same time every day. So they started seeing the clues when the cheese started moving, right? Again, a big synopsis is life is going to change, it's going to evolve. The thing that makes you happy now may not make you happy then, but you have to be in tune with it. You can't sit down and you can't complain. You got to be present. You got to see the signs of things moving and move with it. Again, the evolution of which we talked about. But to I digress. But to my point, one thing that I realized for my personal journey was it definitely evolved. In the beginning, I was really chasing the suit and tie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was success for me. A black man in a suit and tie. Oh boy, you
Yeah,
successful. What you got going on, right?
yeah.
It's and that was because of my upbringing. I never really saw one unless it was church or funeral where I was from. So really working to get into corporate, it was like, yo, once I get into corporate, I done made it. You know what I'm saying? I'm making good bread. I'm able to break bread with my peoples. I'm able to acquire the different things that I desire. But I always reflected back to working on Parks and Rec like in high school and college. Yo, when I tell you, bro, I would have done that joint for free. And the fact that it was over the summer, I think they had some additional funds. Like, bro, I was getting paid good money. I
Yeah.
bought the Lex off the strength of working on Parks and Rec. And I didn't even do it for the money. But I started having kids graduate and reach out to me like, yo, Mark, like, you really changed my life. And I'm talking about like it would just hit me and it would just like that joint really put a battery in my back. When one of my mentees or one of my young bucks reach out, like, bro, like I appreciate like it don't want to got taught. Shoot me a text like by the time I'm gonna be beaming the rest of the day. And corporate was cool, closing sales, being the top, sales, all that, like that was cool, but it ain't put a battery in my back. And I started really looking at my energy shift based on that. So again, as we talk about the evolution, the suit and tie was what I'm chasing, what I was originally chasing. Now it's more so the community. Is those late night texts. Is that empowerment. And even with the book bag dropper, as soon as it ended, I got like 8 to 12, and then 15 different texts of parents just saying how much they appreciate it, letting them know they're looking forward to tapping in, or calling me saying how much they need the service. So I'm gonna ask y'all, yo, what puts that battery in your back? Like that's what you really need to sit down and reflect on. It could be painting, it could be something small, it could be reading, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, you got to continue to do that. Other things are gonna come in play, but at the end of the day, like how are you gonna spend your 24 hours? Is it gonna be doing something to charge you up? Is it gonna be something that deflates you but brings you more assets that you then have to maintain?
Yo, that's so real, man. Cause like instead of chasing an object or money or a bag, chase the feeling. Because the thing that makes you feel good, the thing that you love to do, like Marcus said earlier, if you do what you love, you'll never work. Like that thing that fills your cup up, right? Like that is the thing that will be the most fulfilling at the end of the day. And when you were talking about the who moved my cheese piece, the first thing that I thought about is a lot of us don't realize it when we're on this pursuit of our personal goals or our personal passion, whatever it is. We're literally one decision away from a different life. And we don't even realize it. Like you literally be right there, like you dig it. I think you we were talking before, and you were talking about the jit that was digging for gold or something. He got right on top of the gold and stopped, and somebody else
Mm-hmm.
came and pretty much claimed his gold because he was, he wasn't determined enough to keep going. And I'm telling you, bro, when I talk about my corporate, journey working at that bank, there were many opportunities that presented itself to me, and I didn't take the opportunity for whatever reason. But that was your opportunity to get into the thing that you want to do. And those signs happen all the time. I used to say all the time,
Mm-hmm.
life is always teaching. Do not ignore the signs. And especially if
Mm-hmm.
you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, that's insanity. But
Mm-hmm.
I gave an analogy one day. I was driving in traffic, and you know how it be, man. It be that one car that switching lanes, trying to progress, do what it's trying to do, doing the absolute most, trying to get past you. And all you do is you stay in your lane. You focus on what's right in front of you. You continue to proceed forward. And as you see that car jumping from thing to thing, lane to lane, they still behind you. But you steadily progressing and through this traffic. And that's the lesson life is trying to teach you. Stay on the path that you're supposed to be on. Ignore all the distractions. Ignore all the people doing all the stuff that's around you. Because that's not really important to your personal journey. And I can guarantee you, more likely than not, you're gonna reach your destination before they do, unless they do something illegal, right, to get around. But most of the time, the person, what is it? Slow and steady wins the race.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now that's a great analogy, bro. I often give it when I talk about influence. So again, let's go back to the car situation James just painted. Most of the times you find yourself driving, especially if you just cooling it with your partner, you just rapping, you aren't even really paying attention to the point where you look up in your mirror and now you see somebody on your butt, right? And to James' point, there's two things you could do. You can continue on your pace, or you're gonna be influenced and you're gonna speed up a little bit too. Um, I found myself doing that a lot in my youth, right? I want to speed up, and I'm really competitive. So you speed past me, I'm gonna speed up a little bit too, right? And it's crazy because that's a small parallel, but that's how life is, man. See somebody doing something. Now, there's good influence that causes you to push. Again, when it comes to pursuing your personal passion, if you have individuals who are in the same space who are going hard and pushing you, great, phenomenal, right? But it's when you have other people who aren't in that same space that you're competing and contrasting with, right?
Yes,
Or
yes,
that are influencing you. That's when you got to take a little step back. Like, I don't really know about that, right? Because to James' point, it's your race, right? You can't analyze other people's race. You can't look to the left. You can't look to the right. You need to have your hands 10 and 2 and locked into what you have going on. But also be cautious of other individuals who are running the same race. You can learn from them. But people who are not in your race or in your lane do not need to be telling you what the hell going on with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
And you don't need to take that advice at the end of the day.
Bro, I really feel like Nipsey had it all figured out, but people, they miss the real purpose of the marathon. Because yeah, it's cool to win the marathon, right? To come in first place, second place, but bro, to sign up for something this challenging and to continue to go past every mile, past every checkpoint, past everything, and finish, that is more important than winning it, because most people don't finish what they start. So the whole concept of the marathon is, people always say, "Oh, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon." Da, da, da. That's only part of it, right? The real true piece of it is running at your own pace, ignoring all the distractions. Like, yeah, if you finish in front of the next person, cool. It is what it is, right? But that's not what it's about. It's about me saying that I'm gonna do this thing and I want to complete it, and going through it and completing it. So I just thought about that because we on the whole car analogy thing. But I was the same way, man. You speed up past me, man. We're gonna have to see what's to that car, that engine you got over there, right? But now I'm at a whole nother space where it's like it's not even worth it, man, because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to make it home, man. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on out here. So I'm like, I ain't too much trying to do too much, but um
So let me tag team right there,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So again, as we talk about pursue your personal passion, right? It's personal. It's yours. It's yours. It's something in which you own, you possess. It's your passion that really fuels you. So I would just challenge you to figure out, because at the end of the day, I think that's a self, that's an internal conversation with yourself, right? what does your personal passion look like on somebody else? Right, that don't go hand in hand. So really, just taking ownership that comes with it. At the end of the day, is ultimately that the biggest thing we want to push when it comes to pursuing your passionate person. Uh, James, for you, what advice would you have just overarching kind of as we close out, right? What is something you would recap in regard to our general listeners, right, in pursuing their personal passion?
Man, doing what feels good, bro. Like, and feels good to you, because not a lot of people gonna understand your dream, right? For myself, I come from a background of, addicts and gangsters and drug dealers and people that ain't good for the community. And I'm the complete opposite, wanting to pour into the community, wanting to serve the community, wanting to connect and grow with the community. So I would say focus on the things that make you feel good and that you love, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I don't want to chase a bag, because what I've discovered is that when you trace your passion, the bag will find you. Like, the bag, it's not separate. Like, you don't have to do this work for free all the time, but it takes you being committed and dedicated to your dream and to your passion before you see the dollar. So don't chase the dollar, chase the dream, chase the passion.
Mm, I like that. I like that. I would say paint a picture and over time fill in the details.
Yeah.
Right. And what I mean by that is create that grand scheme, right? What does that look like? Figure out what that passion is, put it on paper. And then as time continues to come, again, it's gonna evolve, right? That's when those extra details come into play. And then hone in on those. And at the end of the day, it's yours. So don't who give a damn about what the next person say or think
Facts.
about
Facts.
it. I
Facts.
hate to be so blunt about it, but that's really what it come down to sometimes. Like it's who give a damn? Do
Bro,
you give a damn? If you give a damn, that's the only time there's some value associated with it.
hey, you know how we coming on here, man. You got to be unfuckwittable. Like, you got to have it in your mind, bro. You got to have it, have your mind made up and have a clear picture, like you said. Because when you really think about it, if you can't see it in your mind, like, you really never gonna get to it. So, like Marcus said, I love that advice, man. Create a clear picture of it, and really just say, speaking unapologetically, fuck everybody else, because this ain't for them. This is me. And we get one of these journeys around, in life. We get one time. So why focus on what somebody else wants you to do, right? Why not do the thing that you love and want to do and fulfill your destiny?
And within fulfilling your destiny, don't rob your future self.
Yes.
That's what it always boiled down to. Again, I think about the ancestors. I think about the greatest potential you is
Yes.
pissed off because you ain't going as hard as you could be going.
That's real.
So
Hey, that's real.
yeah.
We gonna close out with this, because this is fire. It's a quote by Steve Bow. It says, "God's gift to us is more talent and ability than we'll ever realize in our lifetime. Our gift to God is to realize as much of that potential as we can in our lifetime." So forget what everybody else talking about. Go out there, man. Fulfill your passion. Fulfill your goals. Because again, it's your life. It's your goals. It's your purpose. It's your focus. So don't worry about everybody else. But man, as always, you can tap in with the podcast. Everywhere you get your podcast, you can listen to it on YouTube as well. And as y'all see, all our social medias down there, we got a greater good. We got myself, we got Marcus, we got Roots. And always, always, always leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to our page on YouTube. Man, Marcus, you got anything else for the people?
Tap in, application. At the end of the day, just put it to work. Put a foot in front of the other, paint the picture. Let's manifest the rest, man. And as always, we are Let's Grow Together. We'll be back with y'all next week. Be blessed, family.
Peace.